Okay, we're at the Steuben County project. There's an old homestead here. We're putting some lime down and a little bit of fertilizer. It didn't need much. And then we're going to till all that in and put this in fruit plot. Over here is some apple trees that should be pruned up and fertilized. It draws a lot of deer. Here's the lower food plot. We're going to put this in perennials. I just got finished. I don't know if you can see out in there. I did a bunch of hinge cutting. We'll make some beds back in there for doe bedding areas. There's some natural bedding in there anyway. This is a good congregation area for deer, and they like to hang out here, so we'll just enhance this. Jim Ward's back in there cutting a wall. We're going to make a wall of impenetrable fallen down trees right along a little ridge back there. The deer will naturally come along that wall of trees towards this food plot. We'll make a buck sneak trail along the side of that, and bucks will be cruising that and looking for does that are bedded down over here. That's the plan anyway. Here's what the bedding area looks like. We'll go in there afterwards and make some specific beds, but right now we're just trying to get a bunch of trees down. There's a lot of these old pine wolf trees that aren't worth anything. It helps to open things up, get something growing on the ground. It'll help these cherries that are in there get a little bigger. Here's what the impenetrable wall looks like. There's 17 acres of spruce plantation in here, and the deer don't bed down in it. They walk through it to get wherever they're going and disperse from in here. So we're going to hopefully keep them from walking towards the property where they shoot everything, and get them to curve back towards our food, bedding areas, and the neighbor that is more into big buck management. So there's our sneak trail right there, and we're hoping that bucks will start using that to come down along here, go along the impenetrable area. And it's hard to believe, but a deer can scoot right through that stuff and head down. The food plot is right down that way. There's actually a couple of them. There's one over this way too. But you can see this spruce is not any good for deer cover. It's got no food, of course, and deer just don't like to bed down in it, no matter how thick it is. So
right there.
Start digging?
No. I don't want you doing more work than necessary.
Sounds good to me.
Probably work. This is about the size most of the guys use that do this because it's easy, right? Yeah, let me see you show them. Yeah, I like them the height of the deer's back, right? So what a deer really wants to do is, let me turn this just a little bit more. I wasn't quite looking at the deer side. What a deer's wanting to do is right here with its legs downhill, so it's not rocking back and forth, right? Mm-hmm. And then you want to make sure it's completely flat where there's no rocks or debris in it. And I normally right off the bat, dig the leaves out of the way. And the reason is, if you're leveling something, and you got organic material in there, and you try to start leveling it with that, in 2 to 3 months, those leaves are going to rot out because the dirt's on top of them now. Then you're going to have a dip there. So, first thing I usually do is knock the leaves back and then just level her out a little bit. You don't want to have any mud spots. Just level as can be. No sticks, no rocks, no roots.
Should we borrow some soil from elsewhere to fill
can.
that up a little?
Don't need to. No. Right here is just a little bit high, and I'll fill it down there and we'll be good.
So it's got to be that level.
Well,
as level as you can possibly make it.
I like it that level.
Okay.
The log needs to be flat on the ground,
Uh-huh.
and then want to be able to lay all the way up tight against it. There you go. I could roll this one back just slightly.
Back underneath the cover.
Well, that cover's going to come down. The problem with, and Jeff Sturgis, I don't know if you ever heard of Jeff Sturgis or not, but yeah,
I've talked to him.
Okay, yeah, you told me that.
Yep.
He went out to a buddy of mine where we'd probably put in 150 beds, Corey Weedles, and he said you can have a bed that's a tin with overhead cover like the one you have right there, and back canopy like this. But when that stuff comes down eventually, you're not going to have a bed anymore.
Agreed.
You can have a 9 right here, and when this stuff comes down, we still have a bed. So what we actually want is a variety.
Right.
I'm gonna move my log.
I find that if you dig under there and grab a little soil that you can use.
Oh no, I agree with you. Sometimes that's real handy to.
You get your rocks and roots covered up.
Right. No, sometimes I'll step off to the side and dig a big hole, you know, to level one out. That's too much of a hillside. There we are, beauties. Now, 3 things make these beds work, right? We have a cluster of them here for the does, is one thing. The second thing is we're right up against the food plot, because that's where she wants to be dominant. And we got screening cover and overhead canopy and good in and out, so they're not feel trapped in here. We got this bed spot has everything. As long as this food plot comes in enough that they can even get out there and eat, we'll be good. So then we're going to go over here, you know, probably 30 yards away and build another cluster of them. And a lot of guys that build beds don't even put logs. They just come in, move all the sticks and debris back with a rake, don't even level it out with a shovel, and most of them work.
Okay, so after all our cutting, there's the food plot over there through the bushes. Building deer beds around the food next to heavy cover. Hopefully we'll get a couple of doe family groups to hang out here, and then some bucks to come and check them out in November. You got it, Bobby?